Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Visit to the Unknown from Tensei Shitara Slime Talk, and so without any ado let's begin. Visit to the Unknown, 03 Food Situation Part 2. As a cyborg, Zaza only needed a cup of water and one energy tablet to run for an entire day. However, this was not the case for most of the residents. A full meal consisted of water, energy tablet, and solid food. It was the bare minimum for them to survive. It was the same for automata, who had enhanced cells through cultivation. Unless the majority of your body was a machine, like Zaza, you had to consume valuable food resources. Zaza was so serious that even Feldora and Ramaris saw that it was not a joke or an attempt to offend them. Ramaris. Perhaps this food really is incredibly valuable to these people. That's a surprise, Master. He wouldn't be lying, would he? Ramaris and Feldora looked at each other with amazement. Just then, Sharma opened her mouth with a gentle expression. Calm yourself, Zaza. It seems that the food was not to our guests' liking. But this is the best that we can do. And, if you don't mind, may I ask you one thing? She sounded gentle, but firm. And she was now looking straight at them. Yes. Ask whatever you like. Feldora said. And so Sharma did. Then let me ask you this. You put the tablet in your mouth just now. Does that mean you do not know how to eat it? I am sure you find me rude, but can you answer me that? She said. Zaza and Rindo were more surprised than Feldora and Ramaris by this question. Sharma, what did you just say? No. I am a cyborg with no taste buds, but normally. Now that I think of it, you took the solid food and... What? Could it really be? Feldora and the others had no idea what Sharma meant. How to eat it? What are you talking about? Huh? What's wrong with just putting it in your mouth? They were very confused. After that, Sharma demonstrated it for them. While it was fine to just swallow the tablet, it was considered normal to mix it in with the solid food. The tablet dissolves into the dough and adds some flavor to it. These tablets are incredibly expensive tablets that allow you to enjoy 5 different flavors. The taste changes with every bite. Sharma explained as she demonstrated. Oh. Feldora and Ramaris were quite impressed, and they imitated her. As Feldora had already swallowed his tablet, he put Ramaris's tablet into his solid food and mixed it. Then they tasted it together. As for the result. Oh? It's not bad at all. Ho. Very interesting. It sends false information to your tongue and makes you think it has taste. I think it would be quite fun to research this as a gag toy. They were both quite excited by this new food experience. I am relieved that you enjoy it. Yes. It is very interesting indeed. By the way, does the taste change if you put it in water? Feldora's curiosity was limitless. He wondered if the muddy, odorous water would be drinkable if the tablet were mixed with it. However, the answer was most disappointing. This tablet does not dissolve very well in water. Didn't you taste it earlier when you bit into it directly? It tastes very bad if you take it by itself. And us cyborgs, who do not require solid food, will swallow it down with some water. There are also ways to remove your taste buds, but that is quite sad. Sharma denied it and Zaza explained in detail. So cyborgs still had taste buds. There were some who discarded it as unnecessary, but not Zaza. Zaza took out a taste ball, which was an incredibly expensive luxury item, and showed it to them. This thing sends low-frequency waves to stimulate your tongue. Feeling it with your tongue causes special electric signals to be sent to your brain. It won't satisfy your hunger, but it's an important thing in keeping what's left of your humanity. Feldora and Ramaris watched Zaza explain this with dazzled eyes. Master. Don't get ahead of yourself, Ramaris. I understand your excitement at this, but you must calm down. But they were both very excited. Beretta was calm and stood quietly behind them. Sharma looked at the three of them and thought. I do not understand these people. Did they really not know? But if they were lying. Why? I cannot understand it. And in her 50 years of life, Sharma had never eaten anything but this food. It had the perfect nutritional balance, kept you from getting underweight or overweight and made it difficult for you to get sick. And so it was not like Sharma at all, that she now felt like asking them about it. She waited for them to calm down a little and then asked them quietly. Hee. But I am quite interested. If you do not know how to eat this, what kind of food do you normally eat? If these two had been lying to her, what would they say now? What lies could they have prepared, she wondered. However, the answer that Sharma received exceeded anything she could have ever imagined. Oh, you mean like cookies or cakes? I also like eating fruits as they are, but the tarts that Shana makes are even better. Ramaris, those are snacks. For food, I like tempura a lot. Yes, tempura is delicious. If that's what we're talking about, I like barbecued meat and hamburger steaks too. Feldera and Ramaris seemed to be fighting over who could offer the most answers to Sharma's question. However, none of the words had any meaning to Sharma. These dishes did not exist in this world, to be precise, they stopped existing 3 generations ago. Only Zeza, who was the oldest of the 3, knew what Ramaris meant when she said cookies. He understood. Cookies? Yes, before the war started. I had assumed that such things did not exist anymore, but what if we were to search? No, if there were any left, they would be in the center of the imperial city. So is that where they came from? Zeza wondered. But as if to disregard the confusion that Zeza was currently feeling, Ramaris did something most unexpected. Oh, right. I thought something like this might happen. Ramaris shouted. Then she cast magic on the cup that was on the table. The cup was half her size, but it now floated up into the air where it was enveloped by a sphere of water and purified. Yes. My spirit power is weak, but I can still do this much. She nodded with satisfaction, and then pulled out a bottle that was the same height as herself. It was a thermos. It contained some hot tea that had been made beforehand. Ramaris. I would also prefer some tea over this muddy water. Okay. How about you? Do you want to drink it too? Sharma and the others were stunned by what they had just witnessed. Huh? What? Hey, wait. What just happened? Water is so, no, but... Is it a trick? An illusion? No, it can't be. None of them could understand it, and they reacted with confusion. Okay. Then you guys can have some too. Ramaris interpreted their reactions as assent, and so she purified their cups without waiting for further answer. The cups and plates were all sucked into the sphere of water that appeared in the air. And then after a few seconds, cleanly washed cups and plates were lined up on the table. Ramaris ignored the shocked spectators and then took something else out of her breast pocket and put it on the table. Look at this. It's some snacks I smuggled in. It was pound cake and cookies. She served them on each plate. And the cups were filled with steaming and fragrant tea. All right then. Let's eat. And with that, Ramaris began to eat the food that was quite huge relative to her size. Feldera happily grabbed a cookie and shoved it into his mouth. Then he nodded with satisfaction. Yes, this is the stuff. Oh, please don't be so modest. Eat up. Feldera said, encouraging Sharma and the others to eat, as they were still frozen. Upon hearing this, Sharma and the others began to move, even though the situation felt too bizarre to be real. Zeza moved first. He looked away from the plate of cookies and pound cake, saying, I do not require food, and his hand went for the tea. He took a sip and closed his eyes. It's real. How nostalgic. But that means. He realized what it meant, and he suddenly opened his mouth. Sharma. Rindo. Let me warn you, you must be prepared if you are going to eat this. Is it poison? Rindo said cautiously. But Sharma knew what he meant. Oh. I see, Zeza. So it is real. She muttered under her breath. And then she continued. However, we have a duty to eat this food. After all, it was without a doubt I who asked them about what they usually eat. And I must take responsibility for my actions. Sharma said. And then she quickly grabbed one of the cookies as if to allow no hesitation to come over her. And then she put it into her mouth. It was so deep and spread so wide. This unknown taste. It wasn't the artificial flavor that deceived. It wasn't electric signals. It was real taste. This was the true thing that fulfilled one of the 3 great desires of humans. It wasn't about gaining energy. It was about satisfying the soul. It was the first time Sharma realized this truth. And as for Rindo, I cannot allow you to carry all the weight. I too will learn of the truth. Feldera and Ramaris watched this display and wondered why they were exaggerating so much. Rindo cut himself a piece of pound cake and brought it to his mouth. And? Impossible? Is this what real taste is? He was shocked. It was as if everything he had ever known was a lie. The first thing that had filled Rindo's heart was a sense of mistrust towards Feldera and the others. He had thought that they were spies from the Empire that had been sent to find their hideout. However, they turned out to be very strange. As he wondered about this, they had then ridiculed the food that had been offered as a show of gratitude. After that, Rindo's heart became full of rage towards them. But the ability to calmly make decisions was always required of him, and so he had repressed these emotions and watched silently, and now, the small girl called Ramiris had served them food. The distrust. The rage. The shock. Rindo's heart swayed between the emotions and confusion. Where had the thermos and snacks from? And the thing, the magic that Ramiris had used, what was that? It would take immense power to gather the water from the atmosphere like that. Was this miniature automata really that powerful? How did it work? And if they used this technology, could they create lots of water? Would they be able to solve their very serious concern regarding water shortages? There was no end to his questions. And not only questions, but ambitions. But he pushed all these thoughts and questions aside for now in order to follow Sharma in eating the food, and that was when all his questions were blown away. The insult of having their precious water referred to as mud water, he understood it now, with the tea in front of him. Ah, damn it all. So this was what the real stuff was like. He had not known. He should not know. But now that he did, he would have to eat the imitation that could never satisfy him, and bear it. Yes, it had happened already. He could feel it. And Zaza knew it more than anyone. Rindo now understood the meaning behind Zaza's warning earlier. Zaza was an older cyborg model, and so he had had to bear this pain for over 100 years. He had known some of it, but he had no idea what that pain might feel like. And now he would be just the same as him. Zaza. Do you mind if I ask you something? Ah. What is it, Rindo? Zaza answered with a look of concern. But he knew what the question would be. A long time ago, were such wonderful foods accessible for everybody? It was exactly what Zaza had expected. Yes. My daughter once baked me cookies. They were good. Very good. Even if they were a little burnt and odd in shape, but it's not about those things. There was a warmth. Rindo nodded and thought about it. The food in front of them made Zaza's argument so much stronger. He had never heard of Zaza having a daughter before, but it seemed rude to ask about it. The fact that he had not mentioned her before suggested that the war had. And then Rindo began to mutter to himself. Why? This war, why did it? The 30-year-old Rindo and the 50-year-old Sharma were forced into this lifestyle because of the scars left by the war. The responsibility for this was with their parents' generation. Or perhaps the generation before that. He knew that it was pointless to complain about it now, but he could not help but think in this way. They had to attack the Empire's food-producing plants and steal, that's what they had to do to survive in this world. They purified the polluted water and secured the bare minimum. Luxury was not permitted. Everyone worked together in their desperate struggle to survive. And this was all possible because they didn't even know what luxury was. But now that he did, he could not help but hate the Great War, which was the reason they were now suffering. I'm sorry. It was because we were weak. No, I'm the one who is sorry. I got a little excited. Rindo accepted Zaza's apology. Zaza was not at fault here, but it seemed like the natural thing to do. The air in the room felt very oppressive now. Hey. Master. What is it, Ramiris? Did I do something wrong? Yes. I tried to stop you, remember? No, you didn't. You were happily eating the cake. That's not true. Well, never mind that. But that's important. Oh, well. The two culprits became frantic. They began to whisper to each other so that Sharma and the others could not hear. If they like it so much that they can cry, maybe we should give them more. Ramiris started to suggest, but Beretta stopped her. Lord Ramiris, I do not think you should do that. Lord Rimuru will not be pleased. Why? It is irresponsible. Lord Rimuru believes that interactions with other words must be conducted with the utmost caution. We are already involved enough as it is. If we go in any deeper, we will be held responsible for these people. And it is unthinkable that we could choose a side when we do not even know which side is for true justice in this world. Beretta was warning her, if she had no intention of looking after them after this, then she should not give them any false hope. It would not be difficult for Ramiris to prepare food for 1,000 people. However, it would not continue on forever. Only a demon would do something so irresponsible when they had no intention of taking care of them until the end without receiving anything in return. Barreto was a former demon, and so he knew more than anyone, the pain felt by humans when dropped into the pits of despair from the heights of joy. That's true. Okay. I shall be more careful. That would be for the best. At least, we should learn more about the situation in this world before choosing to side with these people. Feldera and Ramiris looked at each other and nodded after hearing Barretta's warning. It may already be too late, but neither of them wanted to create more reasons for Rimuru to get angry. And so the two of them took Barretta's opinion into account and then used thought transmission to talk about what direction to take from there. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe for more content.